trees in Minecraft provided both a very straightforward and a rather challenging list of translations. So we're starting off quintessentially by punching an oak tree, and if you read off a name for
I have ox stock here.
yes, so oak is one of the very simple ones. English oak is famous tree, and so naturally, ark was an attested Anglo-Saxon word. It's what became our modern-day word oak. Um,
And then I have, when I break it, I get acne bredu.
yes, so were materials. So if you want to describe what something is made of in Old English, you tend not to use uh, like in modern English we sort of use apposition. So you could be say oak wood, but you put the noun oak next to wood. Um, but Old English much more preferred to use adjectives. And so you would coin those by adding "n" to the end of the word. So it survives in adjectives like wooden and golden.
Yeah.
Um, and in Old English, so you had more of them, like you had and you said "erken," so that's oaken. But one of the things in Old English was it tended to cause umlaut of the preceding vowel. So umlaut is a thing you get in modern English man and men. So
Right.
it's caused back in Proto-Germanic times, which I won't go into at the moment, but in Old English, rather than being a bunch of in a few fossilized forms, it was much more productive. And so you get the en adjective for materials gives you mutation. So you get arc to ek,
Yeah.
or
And
etch, as it would be etching in the full form. So bredu here is the plural of bread, which is sort of a plank or a board.
yeah, in
Um,
the word gold, we have gildene is the it's the
mm,
same process. So the O changes to a Y there.
yes, which is might not be what you expected. You normally expect O to change to E, as you find in goose and geese,
It
or
actually might
girls.
it might have been gildene, but then Mercy
No, no,
and West
it's
Saxon.
it's due to Proto-Germanic. So
Oh, really?
it was guld you in Proto-Germanic, and the sound change from prehistoric Old English changed it to an O,
I didn't know
but
that.
the umlaut occurs before whatever that sound change was, so you get the Y.
So I'm in minum werkbeelde now, and I have just made acna hladra here. Hladra.
Yes, so ladder. So stairs, there wasn't really a set word for stairs in Old English, like we have a separate word for it here. So hledra is the plural of hleder, which is ladder. So if you grab some sticks and make some of those, you'll find a hleder. Um,
Yes, let's
that
do
was
that.
there are other options I could have chosen for that. So I see you're holding a slab there, which I've called
A
a
stape.
stape, which is a step. So I could have
Stape.
also called the stairs stapas, steps. But in the end, I went for ladra. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, you'll
ladder,
note
and
that
then
the steps are erchen stapper, and the planks and the ladra are ekna or eknu. Um, that's so. Vowels before range of consonants, including N, were subject to syncope, which is the fancy linguistic term for losing the sound in the middle of a word. Uh, so you went from Achen to Eknu, you lose the E. I've tended to include that in where it's applicable, uh, just because I like the sound process and it's my translation. You're welcome to edit it out if you don't like it. But that also does things like causes depatalization of the consonant, which you will note is not marked. So this is a
yes,
choice I've made for the pack. So I've included vowel length markings. So you'll note the acute accents. Uh,
I have a wheat bed.
yes, with the acute on the I. So I've used the. You will note online that the sort of standard academic standard nowadays is to use macrons. So that's the flat line. I've avoided that for a couple of reasons. One, I just like acutes better. I think they look better. And second, because I was also looking at some points at trying to get an insular font to work with the pack. So not only will it read like Old English, it will look like the manuscripts you would find. Um, and font packs like that tend to work better with acute accents than they do with macrons.
Right.
So it's not available yet, but I hope one day it will be.
Well, it's an aesthetic decision. We'll call it that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see here. So before we move on, I wanted to ask about. I'm not sure why I have this in my inventory, but I have a Sleeman Appel that is in modern English a
ah,
slime ball.
slime. Yes, that's interesting. Um, the word for ball or sphere in Old English, there were a variety of things you could use. One of the more common ones was to call basically anything spherical an apple.
Hmm.
So you have things. I think there's an Eastern apple. I think is a gloss I've seen on Bosworth Toller dictionary website.
Yeah.
Um,
In the story of David and Goliath, David's slingshot shot is called aplas. That is like literally apples, but
mm,
more figuratively like shot. That is kind of like bullets almost.
yes, and it survives into modern English. If you hear someone talk about the apple of their eye,
Yeah.
that's I think talking about the eyeball.
Hmm.
Um, so yes, or anything that sort of gets the spherical name uh, in Minecraft. So fireballs, slime balls, snowballs,
Hmm.
they're all apples.
What tree
But
is
yeah, do you want
next?
to? Oh, we can head around and head to Acacia because that's got some interesting things to talk about with it. It's one of these sort of orangey looking ones here.
Yeah.
So
Oh, what has
Acacia.
gone on
So
here?
oh yeah, interesting. So yes. In addition to oak, we'll skip over birch and spruce because they are native to England. So
Uh
birch is
huh.
bircha, and spruce, I've
Pretty
called it
straightforward.
fur.
Hmm.
So fir, spruce is a sort of type of fir, and birch is obviously completely native. But
Here I've got
acacia,
Setim stock.
yes. So acacia is not native to the British Isles, but it is native to the Near East. So to the Middle East and that sort of area.
Hmm.
And we have a lot written about the Middle East because that's where the Bible is set. And we have the Old English Textbook, which is the translation of the first six books of the Old Testament.
Hmm.
And one of the things they talk about in there is the Ark of the Covenant, which is made of acacia wood. And in that translation, they basically rip straight from the Latin Vulgate,
Hmm.
setim,
Setim.
which in turn is setim, yes, which in turn is borrowed from Hebrew, actually. So the word I think in borrowed in modern English, if you look at the modern Hebrew form, is like shitter, I think, uh, which is unfortunately spelt how it sounds, plural shittim.
Well, it means
Uh,
a tree. You know, it's
yeah, I
good.
mean, it's a type of tree. Yes, which was borrowed into Latin as setim, um, and was then borrowed further into Old English. So the Bible
Hmm.
has been a surprisingly useful source of vocab for this translation because
Hmm.
Minecraft includes a bunch of things that aren't found in England or the sort of North Sea world, shall we say, which is what England was a part of
Yeah.
back in the Anglo-Saxon period,
My game
but
is
are found,
currently. Go ahead.
yes, but which are found in parts of the world that get talked about in the Bible.
My game is currently yelling at me, Ne mag tu slapan butan nichtes othethon hit thunrath. That is,
Yes,
you cannot sleep except at night unless when it thunders. Very nice.
or when it thunders.
Or, oh, it says othe.
Yeah, it should say
Okay, yeah,
other.
othe.
I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
it
yeah.
says other.
No, okay, because it says Bhutan at the beginning, and then it went away, and I was just trying to remember it at that point. So, yeah, it
Uh,
was othe. What is this?
so this in the base game is bamboo, which you will also note is another thing that is native only to
Hrail.
East Asia.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, rhaeod, reeds. Um, it's yes, so that's what I've done a lot of here with this pack is sort of when there's no obvious or things that aren't native to Europe that we don't have words for. I've tried in some cases to pick the closest matching, either physically native plant that we have. So in this case, bamboo becomes reeds.
Mm-hmm.
If we come over here, we have we'll start with in the pond here with the mangrove tree.
Yeah.
So if you want to grab a bit of that, I've gone ahead and called this alor, which is in modern English the alder tree. So that's a type of tree found all over Europe. And they don't look quite as exciting as a mangrove tree with the twisted roots and standing on stilts. But they are quite similar in that they're wetland plants. You find them in swamps and wetlands all over Europe.
Uh-huh.
And they can sort of get a much less exciting sort of spread out root system where the water washes away the soil around them, and you sort of get the exposed roots. I'll send you a picture which you can flash up on screen now to sort of
Yeah.
give an idea for that.
Yeah.
So yes, this is one case where I matched sort of as close as I can find to an Old English word. You will also, if you go around the back here towards the dark oak and the pale oak. So dark oaks are named after, I think they're inspired by black oak, which are found in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And pale oaks are just sort of a palette swap of the
So
dark oaks there. I think they're a fantasy tree.
Cheeston stock, and
So
then
yes, Cheeston is uh, chestnut in modern English,
of
and I picked
course,
that
yeah.
because chestnut's a kind of a darkish wood.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Makes sense.
and over here with the pale oak, we have yew, which is yew. So
Yeah,
yew
EU
is
stock.
it's a very pale wood, and you can also yew trees get fairly thick, don't they? So it sort of looks a bit like a yew tree.
EU new
Um,
Bredu. Nice.
and if we head over to cherry as well, it's the same. So cherry in Minecraft was obviously inspired by the cherry blossoms you get in Japan.
Uh-huh.
They're very beautiful with the falling petals and the very vivid pink uh, flowers. But we have cherry trees in England as well. And they're not quite as exciting, but you get the blossoms, and so we have a word for them in Old English.
Yeah,
So this is an interesting
chiri
one.
stock.
So chirsa is the name for a cherry tree, which you will find if you can find a sapling somewhere, I think. So because cherry is interesting because it's similar to a couple of words in Old English where you have different forms of the word for combining. So when
Mm-hmm.
you have like a compound word versus the sort of base form of the word. So in cherry you have chiris, which is when you're using it in a compound, and you have chirsa when
Mm-hmm.
you want to use it on its own. So if we ever get a sapling, you'll find
I've
it's
got
called
one.
a chiris.
Cheers on impe. So what does impe mean?
Imper means sort of cutting
Mm-hmm.
or grafting. So which is basically what a sapling is. It's a small grafting of a tree, and so I've used that for all the saplings. And yes, so saplings over there I've used with the genitive of the noun. So it's the
Cheers on.
you might say it's the sapling of a cherry tree,
Yeah.
as opposed to where we have adjectives like in Chirsnu Breru or the noun
Right.
in a compound in like a Chirison stock or Chiristock rather.
What have you done
Uh,
for a jungle tree?
so jungle is interesting in that it's very obviously based off the kapok tree from Indonesia, I believe it is. And it looks absolutely nothing like anything you could possibly find native in Europe. So in this case, I have admitted defeat and called it, as you will see, a
Kapok.
yes.
And then,
So basically, just loan the Indonesian word.
yeah, kapek no bredu. Nice.
Yeah. So
Very
that's
odd
just
in Old English, but makes sense.
yeah. So this is one instance where if you showed this to an actual Anglo-Saxon person, they would have no idea what you mean.
Uh-huh.
But it is unfortunate that
Okay.
there is
Are,
nothing to.
are we going to
Yes.
talk
So
about rocks now?
we are. If you can see the lovely mosaic here from the last 4 times we tried to record this and encountered technical difficulties.
Shh. No,
Uh,
this is the first time. It's the first time.
yeah. All off the top of the head. Yes, we can go on to rocks now.
Weorstan is what you've called this.
So yes, cobblestone is weorkstan. So that's an attested Old English word. It means sort of stones that are used for building, which is sort of what cobblestone is
Mm-hmm.
in the game. And actual stone, if I got a silk touch pickaxe I can throw to you, is just
Oh,
starn.
stan. Yeah. And then
Yes,
so
and then
Weorstan.
so yeah, and then we can move on to the ores if you'd like. I've
Yeah.
got a bounty for you here to pick away at.
So, I've already actually got some in my inventory. This is Isernes Bloma. So a
So
Bloma then is what?
Bloma is so we have a couple of English texts referencing sort of metallurgy and metalworking,
Mhm.
and a Bloma is sort of like a massive unrefined metal. It may so in raw iron, which is the sort of base game name for this, maybe slightly less works than what a Bloma would be in Old English.
Mhm.
I get the sense it's sort of more, I don't know, bloomery steel sort of thing where you get that it's been fired, but it's not very good uh, iron. Whereas in the game,
Mhm.
I've used it for the much more base form you get out of the rock. But to differentiate it from aura, which is what again I can silk touch you some blocks here, which you will see Isernes aura.
Oh yeah, Isernes Ora. And so
And so
Isern then would be iron.
Iron, yes. So in later texts, you find it becomes iron, which is much more similar to the modern word iron. Uh, Nothing to note, which is this pack is written in, I will call it dictionary standard early West Saxon. So if you
Hmm.
go online to somewhere like Wiktionary or most learning resources, they will normalize all the texts into a form of early West Saxon. Sometimes whether or not that's actually historically attested or not. So in this case, Isern is the more I'm not sure what to call it. I'm going to say basil, but I'm pretty sure that's an evolutionary term. Anyway, it's closer to the Proto-Germanic word,
Yeah.
which in later Old English becomes Iren.
And then I've already got some in my inventory, but I see next to it is Aresbloma.
Yes,
That is copper.
so yes, so copper is actually already loaned from Latin, I believe, by the time of Old English, but it's slightly less common than R, which is can mean copper or brass. So in my philosophy in choosing words for this pact is when there is more than one option available, I've tried my best to go for what is the more commonly used word in prose texts. So there's a great resource for that called Very OE, which is
Oh yeah.
made by Professor Kihos Chi. I'm so sorry. Anna Kihos at the one of the a university in Poland.
A
If
valiant
for any
effort.
Polish, yeah, any Polish you're watching, I apologize for what I've done to your language. Um, but yes, she's put this wonderful tool online for everyone to use, and it's a frequency dictionary of prose texts. So you can put in any Old English-based word, and it will tell you how many times it occurs. It will break it down by the various inflected forms as well,
Yeah.
which is very useful.
It's a wonderful
And then
website.
yeah, and so that helped me out very much there. Sometimes this allows you to make a you can look at two forms of a word and go, well, this word is used like twice, and then this other word is used 20, like 200 times. And so you can obviously say this is the better word to use. Other times it's come down to like, oh, one's used 17 times, one used 16 times. I think that's somewhat the case for copper and R, is that copper it's not that much more common, but it is slightly. So I've gone for it.
And then here you have coal. Nothing much to talk about there.
Yeah, coal is coal in modern English. It's the ancestral word.
Yeah. We've
But
got
here we
Radstan here.
again, yeah, not much to talk about there. It's redstone. It's surprisingly enough, the fantasy conductive electrical dust is not found in real life, and so the Anglo-Saxons didn't have a word for it. So I've just calqued the modern English term.
And then gold. Very nice.
Yeah. You want to?
Othermans, isn't that what you've called? Yeah, Othermans for
Yes,
diamonds.
Arvamans is diamonds. So the when talking about gemstones, the Old English scribes had like a few words they would use. It was like a yimas, I think, which becomes maybe modern English gems, influenced by Norse or French probably, and Eorkenstan, which you will know from Tolkien, The Hobbit, the Arkenstone,
Yeah.
is the modern English rendering of that. And they tend to use these two words sort of for generic gems, and then if they have to talk about a specific one, they'll tend to append a color to it. So, for example, topaz, I think, which is a fairly common gemstone found in Anglo-Saxon archaeological jigs, is called Basu Eorkenstan. So, like a crimson, uh, red, purple um, gemstone, which is unfortunate for me because I mean I could just call diamond like a blue gemstone, but it would make the names of your tools and your armor very
Right.
unwieldy.
And we
Um,
have here Othermans and Sword.
Havmans, yes. So
Or I guess I should say sword.
that is borrowed from Latin. It's found in authentic historical Old English texts when talking about them. You would know Latin better than I believe it's from adamant.
Yeah, Ottomans.
Yes. So, and what's interesting here is that they've in the text they've adapted the spelling to, I guess, the English pronunciation. So they've called it Arthemons as opposed to adamants with the D as you would expect. And a similar thing I have done, if you grab there, some of the block next door there is lapis. So
Yeah.
lapis lazuli in modern English is it's straight up Latin, isn't it? But it's like it means blue stone, I believe.
It's in the genitive. I don't really know what. it's referencing, unless they just liked it better in the genitive. But yeah, it means bluestone.
Yes, so again, I could have gone for bluestone for this as well, but I was talking about earlier with the Bible being very useful. There is mention of lapis in the Bible. It paves the streets of, was it Jericho? It's somewhere that's a grand, beautiful city in the Bible, and they talk about
That
paving
it
slabs of
that does
lapis
sound like
lazuli.
Jericho, yeah.
And in the Old Testament, they call it sapphire,
Hmm.
um, which you may be confused about because sapphires are sort of blue, deep blue gems that you find. And but back in the before the High Medieval period, there weren't any in Europe. So sapphires are the really fancy ones that you got used for most of history were mined in Afghanistan,
Hmm.
and they didn't make it to Europe until about the 1200s, maybe.
Right.
So before that, sapphire in Latin and indeed all the descendant European languages refer to lapis lazuli,
Hmm.
which was found in Persia, so a bit closer to Europe and consequently known about much earlier.
But we have here
So,
sapphire or sapphire.
mm, so yes, and in the Old English, in the Bible where it's mentioned in Old English, they keep it in the Latin declension, I believe. So it's Saphiro, I think. My Latin is
In
not great.
Latin,
It's yeah,
in the feminine it would be sapphira in classical,
yeah.
and then more
Okay.
medieval would be sapphira.
Yes. So the way Old English treats Latin loaned words is varies. So sometimes you get them uh like borrowed straight in, and they knock the if they've been borrowed for quite a while, they tend to knock the Latin. They sort of fully nativize them.
Hmm.
So I think you can find like core, chor, borrowed from Latin chorus, which is treated like a standard Old English word.
Hmm.
Other times you get like I think, for example, place names. So Germaniae
Hmm.
or Germania gets treated like a O stem declension in Old English.
Right.
So you have Germania or but toe as a to Germaniae or
Hmm.
air Germania with the feminine O stem declension on there.
Hmm.
Other times, as is used with Sapphira um, in the Bible, they treat it fully Latin, so
Right.
you get the appropriate Latin declension. In the pack, I've nativized it, so a single bit of lapis is called a Sapphira,
Hmm.
and if you make a block, you get a tezel. We should probably talk about that. So
Yeah, I've got Tezel of Radstane here. Oh, here. I when I speak Old English, I accidentally start actually speaking Old English.
yes, so tezel is it's a word that's used for a couple of Latin glosses, I think, for stuff like oh, I forgot the name of them. The little squares you use in mosaics.
Like tiles?
Yeah. The fancy Latin name. Oh, tesserae, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's also used, I think, for glossing the word for dice. It's used to gloss a number of words in
Checks
Latin,
out. Yeah.
but which are sort of squared off cubed blocks.
Hmm.
So here I've used it for anywhere that Minecraft specifies that it's a block or a cube or something.
Yeah. Currently building with Erde as well. That's pretty cool. Just Earth, right? Yeah.
Yes,
Erde, Earth, and
yes,
then
Erdle. So you can, I believe, you use the article if you say sail Erde, that means the planet, but it also can just mean dirt.
yeah, and then once I run out of dirt here, I'm gonna use this Toquiza Deopstan. Can you tell us what
Yes.
Toquizan is?
So, well, Deelpsand, first of all, is deep slate.
Yeah.
There's no word for slate in Old English because, unfortunately, we don't have a nice treatise by Alfred on geology. He unfortunately was born some years before that was invented.
Yeah, one of his
Um,
biggest failings, I think.
yeah, was being well. Then, if he wasn't born later, who would give us the amazing works he did give us? Um,
Well, I was being joking. I wasn't being serious. You turned it
yeah.
into a
uh,
serious.
but yeah, sorry, and torquized is the past participle of torquizan, which means to sort of shatter, break up, or destroy.
Hmm.
So I've used it here for the cobbled variant of deep slate.
Very clever. Okay. Well, that's our
So
rocks. and
Yes,
I've spent wasted enough of your time jumping off of this mountain thing that
yes, you've made
you're
this
going to have to take
beautiful.
this down later, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to repair my front lawn here. But yes, if we pop over here, so to the colors. So there are 16 colors in Minecraft, which get used for a variety of things. You can make beds out of them. You can make banners and all sorts. But it does lead to the unfortunate fact that I have to do color theory in a language that has been dead for 1,000 years and did not write anything about that.
Right. No color
So
wheels, unfortunately.
no, I mean they obviously knew of colors. They have beautiful, colorful, illuminated manuscripts. Unfortunately, they did not annotate them like they were teaching a 6-year-old how to tell colors for the first time, which would have been
Right.
much appreciated. So
Did you learn your
there
colors when
are
you were 6?
uh I don't know. That was a long time ago. Anyway, so there were a couple that were very easy. So I'll quickly move those forwards. So like red, so red is we talked about that earlier with redstone.
Rad.
Yes,
Wool.
and yellow is yellow or yellow. Fairly simple. That's the old word for
Yulu. Yeah.
yellow, and orange is a mix of the two. So orange in modern English, I believe, does actually come from the fruit first, which obviously
Right.
weren't well. They hadn't made it to England in the 10th century,
So we
so
have yellow rad.
yes, yellow, red. Uh, Grena is green, which is very simple. Uh,
Thisbeo. Wilt. Wille
and then
waste to halsa John.
yes, I've got a full apiary in there, which is there's a lot of use for honey in Minecraft for waxing your copper so it doesn't rust up.
Right.
But yes,
Okay, we've
so
got grene wool here.
there's a
Brune
brune
wool
wool,
here.
that's
Brune.
brown. Wheat wool here. Those are my shares. And
Wheat.
grey and so grey is quite straightforward. So basically, most of these are just cognate with the modern
Grey.
English word. But then there is also
And then swart.
yes, so that's black, which was got so black became the word for that in sort of Middle English time, I think. But swart survives as sort of like a dialectical term,
Yeah.
and also in the adjective swarthy, which is sort of used for people with darker skin tones. Um, but in Old English, it meant anything sort of dark or black. Now
Yeah.
you may notice that there is a conspicuous colour that I have not picked out here, and that's the hues of blue. So all the other colours are very straightforward, but blue appears to be conflated in Old English with a sort of generic word for colour. So you have bleoch, which can mean blue, but it can also mean colour, and you have howen, which can mean blue, but can also mean a generic word for colour. So I've used howen, as you will see, for light blue.
This one.
On the
Howen.
impression I get is that howen is a lighter shade of blue, if it has to specify one. And then if you look at dark blue or just blue as it's in Minecraft, that's
Blauen.
blauen, which comes from a contraction of sort of bleohauen,
Yeah,
um,
Blauhauen.
sort of like blue hued, and that tends, I think, to imply sort of like a darker color. Um, and then you have
Blaurad.
yeah, so that's fairly simple. Blue red, it's for purple, and then Grenahauen behind you. That glosses that in
Grenahauen.
terms like
Yeah,
cerulean. So in here I use it for cyan.
makes sense.
And then Bazu is what I've translated for magenta, and that means sort of crimson or purpley shades.
And then, do we want
Um,
to talk about this
well,
color?
we can go down to har first. So
Okay.
that's light grey. So har
Har.
is usually used for talking about sort of hair color. So someone with sort of aged hair, grey hair by age will be called had har hair.
Yeah, and in modern English that survives as Hoar. I
Yes.
think it only actually survives as hoary. I'm not sure if the actual adjective of whore survives,
Mm.
but this adjective right here,
You have
hoary.
just confused everyone in the
Oh.
server with that.
Whoops. Shall we sleep? Oh, I don't know where
We
my bed
shall.
is.
Our beds are over here. Yes. So whether you can apply that to a generic lighter grey color, I'm uncertain. But Don't
It
know if I
certainly
have
means
because
old in the sense of like old people have that color hair
yes,
generally.
so it's cognate with German Herr.
Hmm.
So uh, the sort of title you use is equivalent to English Mister,
Hmm.
and that's from the derivation of grey-haired and venerable, someone to be
Hmm.
respected.
Yeah.
The final two are perhaps
Uh-oh.
you're fighting. Have you got
I'm coming. Oh, oh goodness, I'm still very high. Okay. Last two.
any excuse to jump? Yes. So we'll start with lime. So lime is a very modern garish color. It occurs like sometime in nature. You get
Hmm.
certain very vibrant greens and plants, but there wasn't really a need to separate that from standard green until we got to modern times and the sort of
Right.
very neon colors. So I've gone for phthalo there.
Yeah.
Um,
Falu.
Phthalo. Uh, so it means it's fallow in modern English, and it's usually used for sort of horse color, isn't
Uh-huh.
it?
Yeah, in
And it can sort
Beowulf
of
we have
mean,
Falwe Maras.
and it can also mean sort of like it's sort of a pale yellowy, which
Hmm.
if you look at lime and sort of tilt your head and squint, it's next to yellow. It could be a pale yellow.
So your theory is
Whether
that when Beowulf calls the horses fallow, they're this color.
no, no, I mean, yeah, no. I mean, if you've sat down at a person from 10th century England and asked them to name that color, they might call it
Fallow,
phthalo.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
And then here
that's a
we've
dubious one.
got Falurad.
So yes, pink is 90. I think most cultures around the world for pink is just a light shade of red.
Hmm.
So there is no word for it in Old English. I've sort of on the basis that phalu is light yellow,
Can you
phalu
explain to
red
me
is light red.
what tapbend is? I have mouse
Ah,
tapbend here.
so meos is moss.
Moss, right?
So it's both the noun and the adjective. So in this case, we're using adjectively.
Hmm.
And taped is a carpet.
Oh, I see.
So it's a well, it's sort of any covering really. So one that goes on the floor, one that goes on the walls.
Hmm.
So if you think back to the olden days, you had your drafty castle or house or whatever. You had lots of cloth coverings everywhere to make life a bit more
Right.
homely and bearable. And then those were tapeds. So
Nice.
in game, I've used these for carpet, so you can make them out of wood as well.
Hmm. This is your town, yeah?
Yes, this is my. Uh,
Willkommen Yipanburi. Fiad Weeches. Oh, it's in Kentish. I'm not going to read the rest. I can't do it. We are.
yes,
Oh, goodness.
yes. So this is in yes in Kentish. So welcome to Japsburg, so Japs fortress town,
Hmm.
a sort of settlement of Fedwich, which is off in that direction over there. It's the
Hmm.
other Old English town, uh, southwest, as I have helpfully laid out there.
Gathu Southwest Tothem Tune. Tune. All right.
Uh,
We've got horses, Koo, Sween, Chicken, Shap, Bow.
yep.
What on earth is that thing?
So that is a sniffer. It's one of Minecraft fantasy mobs. So
I haven't played a lot lately. I don't.
yeah. So I've called it a stenchera. So
Oh yeah, Stenchetta. Yeah, okay,
so smeller.
makes sense.
Because that's indeed what it does. If I can get out, and we've talked about the Bayonne before,
Uh huh.
our bees.
This is a nice little town.
Thank you very much.
The wall design is pretty cool.
Yes, so I cannot claim credit for that. I have stolen that from. I haven't stolen. Borrowed from a build I found on the internet. So I'll send you a link so you can actually credit the person who's got the creative talent to uh, design it, as opposed to me, who simply has the
Uh huh.
lack of life required to dig up all the materials to build it. But yeah, so this was a design based on sort of the timber and earth defensive constructions you got in the burgs that Alfred constructed.
Right. So that would be like late 9th century then.
Yes.
Pretty cool. Okay, James. Well, this has been the Minecraft translation. I'm gonna have a video at the end of when we're done here, explaining how to install it. Of course, this is the newest version that I've announced, that he has recently put out, the
Yes,
newest
so
updated version of the translation.
you're on a slight preview version of the next one because
Yes.
in the process of recording this the past few times, you've spotted several errors, shall we say, in so typos and things like that. So
Happy accidents.
I have proofread this. Unfortunately, I am but one person, and my eyes tend to glaze over after a while of staring at thousands upon thousands of, well,
Right. It's a
entries.
lot.
So if you are using the pack and you spot something which you think is an error, either grammatical or in one instance I just left the modern English word at the end of the translation because I hadn't deleted it, uh, please pop onto the Discord and let me know that you found it so that I can fix it in the next version.
Yeah, and the translation in general will be found on the Old English Discord. I'll have that linked in the description. I'll explain all the instructions in a bit, but that's where you're going to actually be able to find the zip
Yes.
file.
And
And
at the
James
moment we
himself, if you
are.
want to have any
Oh
questions
yes,
for him.
have you got any questions for me about anything, Minecraft or Kentish? If I've managed to sucker you into wanting to learn more about that, please feel free to drop into the Discord and ask me any questions. I'm Japster on there,
Hmm.
and we're actually running a sort of challenge at the moment. If you want to join in and possibly get something into the translation pack that you've translated, so all of the advancements are in the process of being translated. And if you've ever played a lot of Minecraft, you will note that some of them have some quite punny names. So based off wordplay and stuff like that. So, which anyone who's trying to translate anything will know is the sort of hardest part of translating because it can never be translated word for word. You've got to know the language
For
well
sure.
enough to. So, rather than suffer through that on my own, I'm outsourcing it to the Discord server. So, every few days, I'm posting a new achievement and inviting people to submit a translation for a pun to replace the modern English version.
Hmm.
So, if that sounds like fun to you, come along and join in. If I like your translation, it will go in the pack, and I will think of some way to credit you all.
What a way to fame.
Yes, immortalized forever.
Yeah. All right, James. Thank you very much for showing us around your
It
town
has
and
been
your
my pleasure.
translation. And I'll go into the explanation of how to install the language pack now. Okay, so a quick explanation on how to install the Old English Minecraft translation. So you're going to want to go to the Old English Discord server. In the channel Gamers Corner, you'll find the zip file that James has sent in there. Once you have that downloaded, go into your Minecraft game, like here. Go to Options, right here. Go to Resource Packs, and then Open Pack Folder. Once you get this, you'll have this pack come up with your pack folder. Now, I have it in my downloads already. You just take the zip file as it is and just move it in. That's all you need to do. Once it's in, oh, look, there it is. Old English. I have version 0.7 because I get Premier access. And then you click this arrow to move it into here. Now it's selected. You hit done. Now that it's done, oh, look, I think mine might have already selected it, but just in case yours doesn't automatically show up as Old English, you click this world button, and then right here is going to be the option under New Zealand, English, West Saxe. So there you go. Now you click on this, you hit done, and bam, your game is in Old English. So I hope you enjoy James's wonderful translation. Whāratia Yasunde.